My name is Hattie Lee. Hattie Lee, to be precise. To be honest with you, I spend more times in the realms of my mind than I do in the world these days. Some folk thinks I've got some sort of Alzheimer's or dementia, but frankly, it's just some things I'd rather forget. I often vision myself much younger, almost in my prime, hair thick and lush, swept up by the winds of change, standing on the edge of endless possibilities. I imagine myself draped in boundless colors, flowing from me like a tapestry. I am connected to the earth and the cosmos, for I am the gate, the portal, bridge. I am the in-between that causes them to collide. As I think of this, I'm overjoyed because I know I'm looking at my future, but also my past. I'm connected to all things, one with nature. But when I think about the wants of this earthly vessel, this deep, bubbling brown melanin kissed by the southern sun, dipped in the sweet Louisiana heat, my flesh warmed over by desire for touch. And I please myself with best intentions. Yes, honey, I'm unashamed of my sexuality and the power that it wields. Though I still possess a great yearning, want, and passion for the touch of a man, I feel it is important that I strive to love and care for myself in the same ways I would allow him to do. I understand now that love is sweet and sour. It's hard and soft. And hate, well, that's just love with a whole lot of the parts missing. When I first arrived here via my own mother's womb, coming of age, I had a shame for my complexion because the laws of the land decreed that I was last because I was a girl. Then, as a woman with this dark-skinned complexion, it seemed very hard for me. I was stripped of my sovereignty. I was stripped of my faith, my foundation, and my own spirituality. It was like they took my essence. Having to raise a mess of children and take care of a household, it was like they took right smart of the fight out of me. Right smart of what I had left in me to fight. I couldn't leave anything to chance. My whole family was in need of my care. I often have visions of a time when the community, or the village as I like to call it, stuck together. Not so much responsibility fell on the one, but it split equally amongst the many according to their gifts. But we're just so divided now. And I'll be honest, I played my part in that as well. I reckon that folk warring against each other was always a part of the plan, though. But if you keep living on this side, you'll learn better before you leave here. Hopefully you will, at least. Still in the fondest, most peaceful corners of my mind, I see a gathering. We're all gathered around the fire. Beings calling down the rain as we dance until nearly breathless underneath the radiant sun. Meanwhile, in my reality, it's been quite different. It was very challenging to be a black woman, a woman with skin as rich as the darkest soil. You know, they say that's where the sweetest fruit grows. We're used up as workers inside of the church, in the industry, government, and every facet of business across the land. They give us little credit unless we sell off everything but our names. And most of the time, that name was given to us by the ones we belonged to in the first place. The ones that stripped us of our sovereignty to begin with. That's why I likes to escape through my visions. I was visioning a child coming to save us from us. And somehow I thought it wasn't going to look nothing like me, because I had bought into the idea that my worth wasn't much. So when my own grandchild was born to us a son, at least that's what we thought, coming here with the parts given to a male, and chose to walk in my footsteps and their mother's footsteps. I told him then plainly, you can be gay. Just don't be a woman. Because I knew life was going to be hard enough for him with that skin alone. But the child turned out to be so beautiful, like an angel. I couldn't deny it. Nor could I deny my grandchild. And I do. I see it now. I also live in my grandchild. And that he is actually a she, like me. The funny thing is, he can be found in the word she. Now pay attention. It don't work much none the other way around. My grandchild, who I thought was so shameful, is actually a blessing and my redeemer. The shame I felt for my grandchild was the shame that I was feeling for myself. The hate I was projecting onto him, I was actually feeling towards myself. Being last, ignored, skipped over, passed up, silenced, because I wasn't a man. And lo and behold, here comes my grandchild, born into a privilege that they didn't even want. My grandchild wanted nothing more than to be like me, just like me. Why, I couldn't even fathom that at the time. But as I watched my grandchild grow, I began to have deja vus of a time when I was that free, brave, courageous, a happier time. So I go inside of myself and start healing, and now I see myself as mighty as a tree sitting in the middle of a village. Roots growing deep beneath the ground, connected to the source and tied to everything. I see myself flying in the air like a mighty dragon-sized bird, or moving beneath the deep ocean like a blue whale. I may be a woman that this world pretends has no value. I am still the portal for life, the doorway to the future, the nurturer of tomorrow, whether my womb is full or barren. So now I understand why my grandchild loves me so, showing devotion through celebration and emulation of me and our foremothers. a sea of infinite femininity. My healing and liberation has been directly tied to that child's truth. And I thank the ancestors for sending this message to me, all wrapped up in a child I thought I was raising as a son, but strong enough to become a daughter, a black daughter at that, in a world that has hated women glazed over in chocolate, encased in charcoal, precious, bound diamonds in the making. And my grandchild ain't no stereotype or some knockoff carbon copy of a bleached up silver screen vixen. Not my egg. No ma'am, no sir. They're no caricature. They's whole. I see the ancients in their eyes. They's a 1 in a million, and I could see there's daddy in them. I could see their mother in them. I could see their grandpa, myself, and so much more. And they're ashamed of nothing. That's right. That's all right. And that's not stock or product. Ain't no gimmick or trick to it. Can't be sold at Amazon on aisle 6 down at the local pick and save. No, that's sovereignty. That makes me so proud, and it lets me know I've been a part of something. I was a part of something eternal. Something that's going to live forever because it's got all the parts. Not in the physical, but in the spirit. It's the spirit that lives forever. It's not about a name. It's about deeds and actions. It's about the energy, a complete energy, a finished work, wholeness. Thank you, God, Goddess. Thank you, ancestors. Thank you. Thank you. Now, can you please give me a minute? I just need to go within myself. I want to give thanks to my ancestors. I will rejoin them again completely someday soon. That's all I got for today. But I promise you, if you wanted a plate of healing, some actual soul food, that ought to hold you. Now, if you'll excuse me,